So if you're like most of us, when you hear the term investing, you picture the Wolf of Wall Street, but don't fully understand what it involves. Let's try to break down the basics of investing in this video. There's a very good definition of investing on the Times Money Mentor page. It's buying something that you think you'll be able to sell for more money later on. The general idea is that you buy low and sell high. Investing is an alternative to putting your money in a savings account. For more on savings accounts, see the video on types of accounts. Currently, interest rates on savings accounts in the UK are very low, ranging from 0.01% to 1.5%. A savings rate of 0.01% means that if you place £100 in a savings account for a year, you won't even get 1 penny back for it at the end of the year. This is why, if you have some money to spare, you might want to consider alternatives, such as using it to buy your favourite person the Great British Bake Off cookbook, especially if they live with you and would need you to judge the fruits of their labour. Even better, you could explore alternative ways to grow your extra money, such as investing. So what can you invest in? Well, lots of things, but we'll focus on two of the most common ones in this video: shares and funds. Buying a share in a company means that you then own a very small part of that company and are now called a shareholder. If the company does well, the value of your share can increase, and so when you sell it, you can make a profit. While you own the share, some companies may also pay you a very small portion of their own profits called a dividend. As you can see, there is a risk here. If the company doesn't perform as expected, the value of your share can decrease. That means that if you decide to sell it, you could make a loss, and potentially even lose all the money you invested. However, you get to choose how and when you sell your share, and you do not necessarily need to sell it when its value decreases. I'll talk more about this in later videos. Shares are bought and sold on the stock market. There are multiple stock markets around the world. The money saving expert website calls the stock market a supermarket where you can buy and sell shares. Sadly, you can't really access the stock market directly. Though that's kind of a shame, isn't it? It would be kind of impressive if you could reply to, "Where are you going all dressed up?" with, "Oh, just off to the stock market to look after my investments." You can, however, access the stock market through companies called trading platforms. More on that later. Funds are an alternative to buying shares. When you buy a fund, instead of investing in just one company, you are investing in multiple companies. A fund is managed by a financial professional and includes a broad range of shares based on a theme. For instance, shares in tech companies. The financial professional will decide which companies are included in the fund. By investing in funds instead of shares, you are reducing your risk, since although some companies in the fund may perform badly, others may perform well. At this point, you may have a number of questions, including, where can you buy shares and funds? The easiest way to buy shares and funds is via an online platform or over the telephone. Some of the biggest platforms in the UK are Hargreaves Landsdown, Interactive Investor, and AJ Bell. Before you choose a platform or company to invest with, it's worth carefully looking at the fees they charge. A relatively high fee could even cancel out the profit you make when share prices go up. What are the risks involved in investing, and why don't more people invest? There's no guarantee that you will make a profit when buying shares. As I mentioned before, if the company doesn't perform as expected, you could lose money. This is why it's important to start small, do your research, and only invest money that you can afford to lose. To quote Warren Buffett, an American businessman who is very well known for investing, never invest in a business you cannot understand. And here I'll add, never buy shares just because your aunt said you must invest in Pfizer or some other company just because it's made the news, at least not without carefully looking into it. Also, since we're on things you should never do, never get a pet snake or try Oreos dipped in salsa. But we're getting off the subject. If you stick to investments that you understand, start by only investing money that you can afford to lose, and do some research as you grow your investments, you'll make Warren Buffett proud. We'll go through how you can invest in future videos. What causes the price of shares and funds to increase and decrease? There are many factors that affect the price on a day-to-day basis, such as how much the company earns. Each company has a fixed number of shares, and the main factor affecting the share prices is how much people are willing to buy or sell a certain share for. This, in turn, is determined by lots of things. For example, the price of raw materials that the company uses to make its products, whether the company's products or services are in demand, wars, and new laws or regulations that may influence its profits. When should I start investing, and how long should I invest for? Start as early as you can. You can start by investing as little as £1 with some trading platforms. Thanks to the magic of something called compounding, the earlier you start to invest, the better your earnings could eventually be. As we'll see in later videos, there are different approaches to investing. However, the longer you invest for, the better your chances of generating a steady and reasonably good return or profit on your investments. It's best to look at investing as a long-term game. If you found this video useful, please like it, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more money videos.